All right, bears, non-bears, everyone out there. This is Crazy Horse Bear on the road in north central Arkansas, heading towards a bear meetup. There's not a lot of bears in central Arkansas yet, at least not official, documented, tagged bears. But there are some of us, and right now I'm going to meet the White River Valley family, the White River Valley bear family. And why does the river got to be white, you may ask? I don't know. It's just what the locals named it a long time ago. It's the White River. And they live in the White River Valley, and they are homesteaders. And, you know, been in the city for a long time. Really need some fresh air. Need some real wilderness. And we're gonna hike to a cave out here and hopefully do some bear rituals. On the road, you know, it's about an hour and a half drive. I listened to a lot of one of the Owen Benjamin podcasts, and that shout out to Profoundly Still Here Bear for getting videos on YouTube as much as he can, I guess. And yeah, it's a great stream about prayer. It's like I'm always saying, most prayers are diseases of the will. Most prayers are us asking God, may my will be done, when ultimately all your prayers got to be reduced to thy will be done. And it takes a long time. It takes a lot of solitude. That was beautiful passage by Herman Hesse that Owen read from If the War Goes On, just about how solitude brings ultimate reality. And men who have never experienced it, they fear it, and they fear the man who's been through it, because they can see it in his eyes. It's a type of 1,000-yard stare, but in a good way. They're like, man, he sees past all this bullshit. That is all that I can see. And it's just uncomfortable. But Herman Hesse, yeah. Great writer. German. In the 20s, 30s, 40s. If you're going to read Herman Hesse, I suggest you start with Siddhartha. That's him talking about Buddhism. And then read Steppenwolf and Damien, which are more about the diabolical side of capitalism and materialism in the West. And then finally, I would move on to The Glass-Steagall Game, which was, I think, his final major novel. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature for it. I think in Germany it was called Magister Ludi. But it's about the near future and about how civilization gets split between kind of like this intellectual church and the actual church. So it's a near future. I wouldn't call it a dystopia, but the character who's the leader of the intellectual church, it's about his journey coming to terms with this Christian church that they see as the enemy. It's like, well, finally it gets divided, you know, all politics gets divided. Instead of a left-right, there's a church and non-church. Great book. But yeah, literature, that's my game. And I had a realization just recently. The most famous line, this is how the Bears and Beartaria and Owen are all intermixed in, you know, the time-space continuum of history and literature and where it's going. The most famous line in all of Western literature that has been debated more than any other and just quoted more than any other, and is the most enigmatic of all quotes, is of course, to be or not to be. And there's been many doctoral dissertations written about what that line means, the existential significance of the character Hamlet and the utterance of his line, to be or not to be. But it's just to a bear, it's quite obvious what that line means. It's like the way of the big bear or not the way of the big bear. That's what all existence comes down to. So, meditate on that, and hopefully I'll have some more videos from the bear meetup soon. How far off the beaten path real bears like to be. Lord willing, we'll all be here someday. This will be the high ground when the oceans rise.
We did not go outside, we sit in the south side.
So it's the one north down this fence line.
Lead the way. Come on. We're doing some spelunking. Spelunk, spelunk, spelunk. Oh yeah. Good day. We got some stalactites here. This is cool.
The last time we were in here,
Yeah.
see these rocks right here? We sat down right here and had a meal. We brought a French loaf, an avocado, some like summer sausage, cheese. I think we had some veggies and like hummus. It was hilarious, and we just made these little rock, or got these little rock plates.
Dude, you're gonna have to go to that Indian Rock House cave.
I think I see a couple bats up there.
Fool's gold.